All right, so let's open up Aseprite. I just have it pinned to my taskbar and it's going to open up. And I'm not really sure what size I should start with. So I'll go for a 32 by 32 bit pixel. So I'll just go to File, New, and I'll set this to 32 by 32 pixels. And I'll leave this as transparent and then just zoom in a little bit so we can have this nice, 32 by 32 bit pixel. So to create our submarine, what I like to do is to go over, switch this to black, and I'll just go to the right to the tools and I'll pick the ellipse tool. And basically what I want to do is to create the lens, right? Not the lens, the first window part of the submarine. I don't know what you call that, but let's try this like that. All right, good. I think I like that size. So this is going to be for the external part, right? So we want this to have a little bit of thickness. So what I'll do is just go over here again and try to draw another one inside. And I'll just go over to this side maybe, and then try to draw this. And what I'm trying to do is just align this so I have two of them just lying in there. So I have one here like that. And I think this is, no, that's not okay. So we might end up doing a larger one. Let's see if that's going to work. So it's all trial and error. So I'll just start from here maybe. Now that's not the best way to do this. I'll just start from here. Now that's not cool. So basically you get the point. I'm just trying to do something smaller in there like that. I think this is okay. So I'll just select this and then just move it here and see if we can place that here. I think that's good. So I'll just exit that. So that's our visor. So I'll just call this the visor A, because we're going to have two of these visors. Now what I want to do next is to create the outline or the body of the sub. So I'll go over to the pencil tool. And what I'll do is just go over here to the top and just try drawing just a few lines here to see how this will look like. And I'll begin to just curve out towards the end in here so I can have just a nice little tail for our submarine. Now, in case you're drawing like that and you notice the space isn't enough, I think that's good. I think the space is fine. But in case you want to increase this, hit C. And once you hit C, you can either drag this and add a couple of pixels, but this won't make it a square pixel anymore. But you could just increase that. I'll just cancel that because I want to leave that the way it is. So I'll drag this down a bit like so, and I'll just try to conclude some parts of this like that, and I'll just drag this here and add a little bit of depth. And let's just get back here. I'll use the eraser to just remove this. Now we're not cleaning this. And what I did right now, I think it's better if we separate this. So I'll just undo everything I just did right now. And let's create a new layer. So I'll clear this. So this is our visor A. Let's create a new layer for the body. So I'll go to layer at the top, go to new layer, or we can do Shift N, and I'll call this body. Now to create the body, all we needed to do was just double click and we have the body. So I'll hit B to go back to the pencil tool, and it's on 1 pixels. That's the brush size, 1 pixel. And let's try doing that again. So I'll just drag this over here to the right a bit, and I'll just create this, sort of like staircase going down, and I'll drag this down a bit. This is going to be the part for the blade. And I'll just start going down a little bit like that, and we'll get back up here like so. I think that's good. So I'll use the eraser tool. I'll use E to just erase this out. All right, that's fine. Let's try and do the second visor here. And I just place that window around here, and I don't like how this part's looking super weird. So I'll just bring the brush tool back and try to do something like this. like for the submarine body. And I'm doing that because I want to create like the arms around, but I won't do the arms now. I'll just make sure that's part of the body again. So I'll hit the eraser tool and just clear this. Right? That doesn't look too bad, right? So that's the body. So that's the visor. So the cool thing is here, we can take this off and take this off as well. You can see what we're doing there. Very cool, right? All right, so we can lock these two so we don't accidentally create any art above them. And since I'm not using this, I'll just drag this window to the left so we have more workspace. So that's how you can set up your windows. So let's use Control N to create a new layer. I believe we'll Shift N. So let's go to Layer, New, Shift N, and I'll call this visor B as the second visor. So for the second visor, what we can do is we just make it very simple. So I'll go over here to the fill tool, fill ellipse tool, ellipse fill tooly thingy, and I'll just draw one shape, make it a bit large like that. And remember our trick, so we'll draw a smaller one, but for this one, let's select it and I'll just move it up here. I think it's good. I think that's good position. So I'll hit escape to just get rid of that. And what I'll do is switch over back to the ellipse tool and let's draw a smaller one like that. I think that's fine. So let's select this shape and let's just move that in here. And now you can see we're not really getting that. So what I might do is let's make this one step bigger, or we could just simply draw it in there. If we draw it, it's going to be merging up with this edge, and I don't want that. So I'll just select this and I'll just push it up like that. Can we do that? Just up. And I'll drag this to the left. So it's not doing that. So I'll deselect this. And it's actually merging up with the edge, which I don't want. And it's making it super large. So how do we fix that? Let's try moving this a bit to the right, like so. Just one unit here. And can we draw this? Let's play around and try to draw this on our own, the pencil tool. So we can have something like that. That looks like one window in here. And I might actually change this to a specific color so you can see what we're doing right now. But in all honesty, I prefer this shape to have this form here. So how do we solve this now? So let's go ahead and I'll get rid of this. I'll just delete everything in this selection and I'll bring this here first. So I'm going to place this inside first. So with that placed inside, let's draw out our shape. And we can make this large like that. And now let's select it and try to bring it in there. I think that's better for this visor, right? And the cool thing we could do now is select both of these and try to move them up a little bit. I think that's okay. So that's the second visor, and you can see how we did. We used a variety of tricks to, basically solve that problem. So now we have that visor. I'll just go ahead and lock this visor. And thirdly, what we're going to do is to create, let's save our project. So I hit Control S and I'll call that player underscore V underscore 3. So this is going to be my third iteration for this player ship, which I kind of like this one. I don't really like what's happening here, but I'll see if I can fix that. So now let's try the little wings, because I want the submarine to look like it has some wings. So let's do Shift N and let's call that wings. or let's call it fins, right? Let's do fins, and I'll hit enter. So now we have the fins. We've locked every other layer. If we want on the layer and we try to do anything, it's not going to work because that layer is locked. So I'll hit B to get back to our pencil. You can see we can't draw here. So let's go to our fins. And for our fins, I'll just try to draw out a little finny kind of shape here. So I'll just try to draw out some, kind of like zigzaggy shapes. I will just get back up here. So that's one fin, the one that's towards us. And for the other fin, I'll just try to draw something quite simple like that. So this is the one in the distance, and this is the one in front of us. So it's basically, we're trying to apply some perspective here. All right, we can actually see that in the preview window. So let's go ahead and draw our fan. Right, so I'll do Shift N, and I'll just call it propeller, and we have the propeller. That's good. So let's create our propeller design. So here, and we can use a line tool. Actually, there's a line tool, but since this pixel art, we don't really want to, we just want to have fun creating pixels ourselves. We can use a line tool if you wanted to. So I'll go over here. Now, another thing that helps is you might want to get the grid. So you can go to View, and Show, and we can show the grid. Apart from that, we can go to View, Show, and we can turn on the pixel grid. Now, the pixel grid is going to allow you to see the pixels, right? So, but I'll just go to View, Show, turn off the grid. Now I can see the pixels, and this will help you in accurate placement if you want. Sometimes I find it distracting, but this is okay. So first, let's create a little bit of tail here, like that, like so. So this is going to be our basis. And then next, I'm going to draw out a nice little propeller for this, like that. And I'll just do the same thing going down. So I have 3 of these going down. So from here, we have 4 like that. And then we have 2. And then we're sending that back up. So that's going to be our propeller. All right, so let's just turn it off and see. So this entire block here is for the propeller, like this one here. I can see how we're creating these different components. So next, it's good for Submarine to have the periscope at the top. So let's go to Layer, or we could just use our keyboard shortcut Shift N, and I'll call this the periscope. So now we have that periscope. Let's just create that periscope on top of this. And to do that, I'll just pick any point here. Let's say 2 points up, and towards the ending, just 2 points here, so I can have a nice little height. Oops. So I'll just draw this, and let's create our little periscope. Right. So to do that, I'll just go 2 units here, and let's make this 1, 2, 3, 4. So I could just have 2 spots here. And I'll just drag this to the top and try to create like an L shape like that. And also I'm trying to keep 2 units at least inside, so we can have something quite interesting here. And for here, I'll just try to just do something like this. I kind of like this, but maybe I should, I don't know, I want to increase this. So I'll just go over here and select these pixels, push it up, just 1 pixel up. So I can use my brush tool by going back to B, and there we have it. We have our nice little submarine. So that's going to be it for this lesson. In our next lesson, we're going to, what we're going to do is fine tune our submarine. and look at some pixels that are out of place, and then we'll color this object. And then once we apply our flat colors, we're going to apply some shading as well. So from what I'm seeing here, you know, this actually goes staircase wise. Here too is supposed to go a bit using that staircase method. So I'll lock the periscope and quickly go to the body. You can turn that off, and let's fix that issue here. So I'll hit E to just erase all this edge, and maybe I'll get rid of these two, and I'll just try to create something a bit diagonal like that, so it gives it a nice curvy shape. So I'll just go here, here, and here. So you can see we have a nicely, slightly curvy mechanical thingy here. So yeah, so let's save our project, and in our next lesson, we're going to color the submarine. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.